Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome, welcome. Get comfortable. Let's get into it. Just going to sage everything here. I'm sorry, you guys. Yesterday, because of the storm, we're having a storm here in California. I absolutely love storms. But anyway, um, uh, yeah, it took all day yesterday until this morning for my videos to load onto YouTube. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like it. I think the high winds and rain maybe were affecting either the internet connection or YouTube. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it. So that's why my video is very delayed. It was from yesterday. If you're looking for yesterday's video, I'm sorry. It wasn't uploaded until probably the middle of the night last night. But it's there now, okay? It's because of this weather. Every time it rains and it's bad weather, I get really bad internet connection too. So it doesn't help. That's all. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, Holy Spirit, my Lord, please protect me and my viewers from any negative energy, curses, hexes, anything negative, any evil eyes, any bad negative spells. Send it back to sender 2 billion times 4. Please protect us in your holy light. Keep in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, that's pretty good. You can hear the heavy rains probably. It's really pouring cats and dogs outside. Show me the cards my viewers need to see. Show me the cards my viewers need to see. Show me the cards my viewers need to see. Oh. Okay. Okay, there's definitely a woman here. This is for sure because she has two children that she birthed here. She had two sons. Okay, I see two sons. Her family owned a home here. She rented from the family very cheap. Her parents are foreign. They come from a foreign country, an island. And this man, also, they come from a foreign island. Their families came to the United States because of a volcano that erupted. Well, at least one of the female, the woman's family came to America because of a volcano that erupted on her island when she was a baby. She doesn't remember. She was too young. She was just probably like 2 years old. Okay, so She fell in love with a karmic male when she was very young. There's an age gap between them by a couple of years. You right there, baby, okay? Sorry about that. Um, so they met she met this guy very young. Um, this guy, I mean, he was still young when he met her, but she was like underage, like very underage, like a young teen here. Okay, so this man was a player. He was, young but older than her, and he was a player. He didn't do any education here in America, but he was extremely creative and talented with his hands. He was a very hard worker. He could have done construction, had a small construction business. Um, he was a very hard worker here. He's like a carpenter. Like he can build a house. He can do anything with his hands. He's just incredibly talented with his hands. He can build anything. He's very creative in that way. And this woman is a very hard worker too. They both did labor type of jobs. This woman got pregnant too young by this masculine, but this masculine never, ever was loyal to this woman. They got married because of a pregnancy here. Too young. The masculine was too young when he got her pregnant. He wasn't ready. And he was never ready to be loyal to this woman. He just doesn't have it in him. He's a womanizer. It's just the way he is. He's very flirty, very charming. He knows what to say, but he does have a big heart. He does have a big heart. It's just he can't stick to one person here. Okay? He'll help anybody who needs help. He's very generous. Too generous sometimes. But also he can't hold on to money. He has a hard time not spending money. he likes to drink a lot. Oh, he's deceased. Okay, hi. Okay, he's here with me. Wow, that was quick. Okay, hello there. Okay, so he's deceased. All right. Anyway, this man and this woman, they had a disabled child, has a very unique disability. Okay, their mind, they're very, very smart and intelligent. They went to college and everything. They had two sons. The other son is a bit lazy with certain things, but not with work. They're very, they work, a lot of hours. Okay. So the son that has a disability, a unique disability with their legs and all their muscles in their body, it's a certain, what is it? CMT, he said. He's with me. CMT or AOS is the diagnosis of this father here. Not the father, but his son. Okay. All right, so that happened, and there was a lot of resentment, a lot of hurt, hurt feelings here. Oh, there was judgment placed on this father figure because they had a disabled child. Some sort of judgment here. Not really. It's not like so like judgment, but people was talking about it. I guess people felt like really. What is it? Okay, they felt really bad. He said they felt like really sorry for his son and for him because they had to go through a lot of surgeries with the son. The son suffered a lot with surgery, and during that time, they didn't know what CMT or AOS was. It's something to do with the muscles and the hamstrings not growing or stretching. It's a very rare disease, and it's still being studied. There was a lot of therapy that this child had to go through, and this father, they felt really bad for their son here with a disability, but they had to stretch the son's hamstrings with exercise and therapy that was very painful. And his wife couldn't do it because the son would cry a lot and be in a lot of pain doing this exercise that he was told that he had to do at therapy every day. And or every other day. And because the his son was very babied, he was treated differently because of his needs. You know what I mean? Um, that happens a lot. You cater to the ones that are in need. They didn't, they didn't know they were. See, this person grew up in a different time where it was like a struggle. It was a struggle where he came from, and it's like a live or die type of place. So, you know, you had to be strong, and this man here wanted his son to be strong, wanted him to fight, and although with a disability, he didn't want his son to feel like he was any different from anyone else. And he tried to toughen him up too by, encouraging him that he could do these exercises, that he could, improve anything he put his mind to, okay? But the son took it in a different way here. He took it in a negative way that the father didn't love him. The father felt really bad, you know. Um, anyway, the father does love both of his kids very much so. But the son was very jealous of the son that didn't have any problems, didn't have any handicap, disabilities, or anything like that. He was a bit jealous of him, and so because the son wanted to be the son that didn't have a disability, because he wanted to be like his father. He did everything his father would do. He even resembled his father. He looked just like his father. He loved to do the construction. He went to work with his father, and his father's a roughneck, and he's teaching his sons, how to be strong, like men normally do in this type of, you know, culture. So, all right. Anyway, so moving on. Okay, so they got married here. This man and woman got married. She was too young. She barely started high school. I'm hearing she got pregnant. It was an embarrassment in the family. Um, there was judgment placed on the both of them, but mostly on the girl. She was criticized and called terrible names, and even disciplined really roughly by her father. Then of course you have those family members that like to throw stones when they have glass windows. Don't you just love those ones? They criticize everybody, but inside their home, they're even worse than you are. Yeah. So this woman went through a lot of judgment at a young age, and she's always felt criticized and judged. So she always felt that she had to prove something to people all the time because of, you know, the rough foundation that she was started off with here. Okay. So it looks like, okay, they ended up going into an apartment, living there, saving up money for a home. They ended up buying a home. A beautiful home, I see, on a dead end street. Quiet neighborhood. There's a bridge there. There's also a creek behind the home with rodents and stuff that come around the house. Ew. But it's a beautiful home though. It's just there's a creek next to it. Okay. So they lived there. She had another son in this home. Okay, and then they lost their home. The husband would spend way too much money. The woman was constantly hiding money from the husband to save money. But every cent that this man found, it was always being spent. And it was being spent here on what? What was it being spent on? Okay, thank you. Another woman. Other women. It was more than one. There were several women here actually. This man was a serious cheater, okay? He loved his wife and kids, but he just could not be faithful. He's not a person to settle down to one person. They just crush and admire too much women. They're addicted to sex, okay? They're addicted to sex here. This man was a heavy smoker and drinker, and he also died of lung cancer. Okay. So this woman, after many years, saved up money and ended up. Her mother helped her a lot. Got her a house to rent very cheaply, very dirt cheap. The mother helped this her daughter a lot, more than any of her children. This daughter got the most of anybody in the family. She was very greedy. Um, After she got divorced, this woman was a bit salty for a long time. She dated other men, but they were all karmic because she's not healed. She never healed. She still always loved her husband here, but he could never stay faithful. He got her sick with something, but it was curable, some kind of STD that was curable. After that, she had enough, and she ended up getting a divorce here. But she stayed closely connected to this Matt, her husband, even though they got divorced and he had other women. But he had two women. He had his wife, and he had another one who he was very much so like a second wife it would be if he could have a second wife in America. The second one would be the second wife, and that one had lost a husband, and she had a bunch of children. She didn't work, and he provided for her also. And that's where the money was going. She was very codependent on this masculine, the mistress here. He was always cheating. He would go to bars and he would see, women that were very loose, and he would end up sleeping with a bunch of bar type of women. Not bar type of women, but you know what I mean, like women that go to the bars to look for somebody for a one night stand or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, he always had. He was always traveling with women, like constantly. He never acted like he had any dependence on him. He acted like he was single all the time. Um, in his mind, like he didn't want the responsibilities of a wife and children, really. He had them, but he didn't want them. He just wanted to be he loved children, other people's children. He loved his own children, but he had a problem raising them because he didn't want to be a father. Was it not? Okay, he wanted to be a father, but he didn't want the responsibility of having. Okay, he loved children. He loved children. He just didn't want the responsibility of being a husband. That's what it was. He wanted his freedom. Okay, and I see he does love children. He truly does. It's just he didn't want to be. He didn't want to be tied down. He didn't mind being married. He just didn't want to stay with just one person. He wanted to always have the freedom to do whatever he wanted. He wanted his cake and eat it too, and that's what it shows here. The cake and him eating that with the wine and everything. He wanted his cake and eat it too. Okay. He had a lot of options, and they were all very eye-catching, but they were all karmics here. Alright. Before he passed away, he spent a lot of money that he shouldn't have spent on this mistress. He lived with this mistress after the divorce from his wife. And before he passed away, they ended up spending a tremendous amount of money. They bought a new truck. I'm seeing they went on vacation. They overspent on money. And the woman had to go through bankruptcy. She depended on her daughters. She had all daughters. She depended on her daughters to support her after her husband, not her husband, but, the guy that she was with for many years passed away. His children also resented him because of him not being loyal to his family here. His disabled son became a counselor and kept telling his father that he needed to go get help for his sex addiction. He wanted to marry the mistress, but the sons refused to support that because he couldn't even be a good husband to his own wife that he had and who she did everything for. This woman would die for this man, and honestly, she just was so in love with this man. But he didn't have the same passion. He loved her, but he didn't have that passion for her it's a different type of love, you know? It's unconditional, but it's not, there's no passion in that kind of love that he was yearning for here. So it looks like here they stayed friends with benefits because anytime this ex-husband offered her, sex, she'd accept it because she loved him no matter what. She just didn't want to, didn't want to be living with him anymore, didn't want to take care of him anymore because he kept, giving her a lot of pain and remorse and giving her really bad karma here. But a lot of the karma that this woman has, she brings onto herself. She would smoke and drink to try to numb the pain of not having this masculine in her life. She struggled a lot because this masculine never paid child support, was very rare because they kept losing their job all the time. They started getting lazy and constantly getting laid off or whatever, not looking for work, always at the bar drinking, always, with other women here. So this woman basically sailed away from this man. She would see them here and there as the kids, grown up. They were already grown up when she divorced them. Okay, so she met someone else, yeah, I guess sometime later. And this was someone she wasn't even attracted to. But this man was like this man had some nasty demons attached to him. Really dark. This man was very dark, spirited, very evil. He'll be very, very charming and act very sweet and kind. But he was very sinister. He thought that this woman owned the house that she lived in. He thought that she had money, but she didn't. She never had money. He thought that if he married this woman, that he would have a house and all her assets here. This man lived off of women that were much older than him. He's not good looking at all, I'm hearing. He was very ugly, in and out. But he would do spell work because he was a warlock here that nobody knew. He grew up as an orphan in an orphanage. He was disciplined harshly because of his sadistic ways. He doesn't like the church. He can't stand Roman Catholics. He doesn't believe in the Lord. He's very sinister. Okay, very sinister here. Not just because of that, of his beliefs, but it's because of what he's done. He had a wife that he said commit suicide here, but in reality, he made this this ex-wife of his, mentally crazy. He was extremely abusive to her, and she ended up hanging herself. And when her son came home from school, her eldest son came home from school, I'm hearing his name was Ricardo. Ricardo? I'm hearing Ricardo. I don't know if that's the son's name, possibly. Anyway, the oldest son found her dead hanging. Yeah, when he came home from school. That is so sad. Oh my. So, he's never been well ever since. And this boy has been um, numbing his pain with some serious drugs here and alcohol, very heavy, heavy alcohol. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Thank you, Spirit. This wanted to come out apparently. All right. Okay, so the father lived in a different island than this his first wife here, and they had two sons also. But the first son that this person had has very damaged. They've never been right ever since they saw their mother hang themselves here. They never healed that. Okay, so they made a lot of bad choices. The father was never in their lives. He didn't care about his sons at all. He just cared about money and people, and looking for women to provide for him. He would use women to provide for him. They would give him material things and whatever, but he would do spell work to get these women to love on him and to give to him. Okay? He's very evil. He has a lot of demons attached to them. Very, very evil, very, very dark, very cold. His eyes are nearly black. You know, he's very, very sinister. Okay? Very. So anyway, it looks like here, and from what I'm hearing, this woman here that got pregnant very young with her two sons with a disability, one of the sons having a disability, she ends up meeting this sinister man through a neighbor, even. And he even did spell work to the neighbor's son, I'm hearing, and they live in a different area, and they have money. And he became very good friends with them, and to the point where they started giving him a free place to live, got him a job, a really good job. He didn't have no papers. He wasn't legal here. I'm hearing that he was working in Bermuda. Bermuda. I'm hearing Bermuda. And doesn't have to be Bermuda.